From Sidelined to Spotlight, my strategic comeback against favoritism. Hi there, I'm Claire, and I'm about to take you on a journey through my life, a journey of struggles, determination, and ultimately triumph. I always felt like I was in the shadows, overshadowed by my boss's favorites at work. But one day, everything changed, and I found a way to rise above it all. Grab a seat and prepare for a story filled with unexpected twists and valuable lessons. And hey, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy my journey. It all started on a regular Monday morning at the office. I was sipping my lukewarm coffee while scrolling through emails when I overheard my boss, Mr. Frank, bragging about his latest promotion of Lisa, his favorite employee. She had only been with the company for a few months, yet there she was, basking in the spotlight. I felt that familiar pang of frustration. My hard work seemed to go unnoticed, while others thrived on favoritism. I was tired of being sidelined. As I sat at my desk, I couldn't help but recall all the late nights I spent perfecting my marketing strategies. I was the one who had successfully launched our last campaign, bringing in more clients than ever. But all my efforts seemed to vanish in the faces of loyalty and favoritism. How could I make them see my worth? I thought about how I could turn the tides in my favor and show everyone that I was just as capable, if not more so, than the favorites. That night, I decided to take action. I started documenting every instance of unfair treatment I had experienced at the office. I made a list of my accomplishments, highlighting my contributions to the company. I wanted to gather evidence that I could present to HR if needed. I felt a spark of hope ignite within me. Maybe it was time to stand up for myself and show them I was more than just a quiet team member. The next day, I shared my feelings with my best friend Jenna. We often met for lunch during the week, and I needed her encouragement. "You've got to let them know your value, Claire. You've been working hard for years. It's time to put yourself out there," Jenna exclaimed. Her words resonated with me. I realized that being quiet and humble would only keep me sidelined. I needed to step out of my comfort zone and take the initiative. After lunch, I sat down with my computer and began drafting an email to the HR department. I outlined my accomplishments and expressed my concerns about the favoritism I had witnessed. I was nervous, but I knew this was my chance to make my voice heard. I hit send, and my heart raced. What would they say? Would I be taken seriously? I hoped that this was the beginning of my comeback. I spent the next few days anxiously waiting for a response. I focused on my work, putting in extra hours to show my dedication. I began to feel a shift within myself. I was no longer just a background character in this story. I was taking charge of my narrative. Finally, an email from HR arrived. They wanted to meet with me to discuss my concerns. I felt a wave of relief wash over me. I was finally being heard. When I walked into the HR office, I was met by Miss Thompson, a kind woman who had always been supportive. I laid out my experiences and shared my documented evidence. "I just want a fair chance, like everyone else," I said, my voice steady. Miss Thompson listened attentively, nodding as I spoke. She assured me that they would look into the matter and that I would receive support in addressing favoritism within the workplace. After that meeting, I felt empowered. I knew that I had taken a significant step towards reclaiming my place in the company. But I also realized that I couldn't rely solely on HR to change the dynamics. I needed to show my colleagues what I was capable of, and I had to do it strategically. My mind raced with ideas for how to showcase my skills. A week later, I learned about an upcoming internal showcase where employees could present their innovative ideas for new marketing strategies. This was my chance. I gathered all my previous work, polished my presentation, and practiced tirelessly. I wanted to blow everyone away, especially Frank and Lisa. This time, I'd make sure I wouldn't be overshadowed. On the day of the showcase, I stood backstage, heart racing as I waited for my turn. I could hear the applause for my colleagues' presentations, and I felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. This was it. As I stepped onto the stage, I took a deep breath and focused on the message I wanted to share. I was tired of being sidelined, and it was time for the spotlight to shine on me. As I began my presentation, I noticed the audience's attention shifting. I spoke passionately about my ideas, showcasing the marketing strategies I had meticulously crafted. I shared data and success stories, emphasizing the potential impact on our company. I could see Frank's expression change as he listened intently. For the first time, I felt like I was being seen, and it was exhilarating. When I finished, the room erupted in applause. I felt a rush of adrenaline and pride. I had done it. Afterward, I received numerous compliments from my colleagues, and even Frank approached me with a smile. "Great job, Claire. I had no idea you had such innovative ideas," he said. It felt like a turning point. I was finally breaking through the barriers that had held me back. A few days later, I received an email from Frank inviting me to lunch. My heart raced with excitement. Was he going to offer me a promotion or more responsibility? I arrived at the restaurant, and as we sat down, I felt a mix of nerves and anticipation. Frank began discussing my presentation and how impressed he was. "I think we need to give you more visibility in the company," he said. My dreams were finally within reach. As we talked, I couldn't help but notice how much Frank seemed to value my input. He shared plans for the company's future and asked for my ideas. I felt empowered, knowing that my efforts were finally being recognized. It was a stark contrast to how I felt just weeks ago. I realized that I was no longer sidelined. I was becoming an integral part of the team. However, as I started to gain recognition, I noticed Lisa's attitude change. She was no longer the supportive colleague I once thought she was. Instead, she began to undermine my ideas during meetings, trying to regain her position as the favorite. I could sense the tension rising, but I refused to let it discourage me. I had come too far to let anyone sideline me again. Determined to maintain my momentum, I continued to work hard and collaborate with my team. I focused on delivering results and building relationships with my coworkers. I even started mentoring a new hire, showing them the ropes and helping them navigate the workplace. It felt good to give back, and it reinforced my confidence in my abilities. As time went on, I realized that I needed to confront Lisa about her behavior. It wasn't easy, but I knew it was necessary. During a team meeting, I calmly addressed her undermining comments and explained how they affected the team's morale. I stressed the importance of collaboration and support, emphasizing that we all had a common goal: the success of our company. To my surprise, Lisa didn't lash out as I expected. Instead, she seemed taken aback and eventually apologized. "I guess I felt threatened by your ideas," she admitted. It was a small victory, but I could see a shift in our dynamic. I hoped that we could work together more harmoniously moving forward. With my newfound confidence, I decided to take on a leadership role in an upcoming project. I gathered a team of colleagues and developed a comprehensive marketing plan that would elevate our brand. I made sure to include everyone's input and foster a spirit of collaboration. The excitement in the room was palpable, and I felt a sense of belonging I had longed for. As the project progressed, we saw fantastic results. Our marketing strategy garnered attention from higher-ups, and soon we were invited to present our findings to the executive team. I felt a blend of nerves and excitement as we prepared for the big day. This was another opportunity to prove my worth and show that I belonged in the spotlight. On the day of the presentation, I stood confidently at the front of the room, alongside my team. As we presented our strategies, I could see the executives nodding in approval. I felt a sense of pride as I looked around the room, knowing that I had worked hard to earn my place here. When we finished, the applause was thunderous, and I knew we had made an impact. Later that week, I received an email from the CEO congratulating us on our success. He invited me to discuss future opportunities within the company. I felt a rush of exhilaration. I had gone from sidelined to spotlighted, and it felt incredible. I was finally being recognized for my hard work and dedication. As I walked into the CEO's office, I felt a wave of gratitude wash over me. I had fought hard for my place in this company, and I was no longer just a quiet team member. I was a leader, ready to take on new challenges. The conversation flowed seamlessly, and I could tell the CEO valued my input. I left that meeting feeling empowered and ready for whatever came next. In the end, I learned that perseverance and determination can change your fate. I had faced favoritism and doubt, but I refused to be sidelined any longer. I took charge of my narrative and proved my worth. As I reflect on my journey, I want to remind you that it's essential to stand up for yourself and believe in your abilities. And if you enjoyed my story, don't forget to like and subscribe. Always remember, your efforts can lead you from the sidelines to the spotlight, just like mine did.